Okay, before we went on break, we told you we're going to have this conversation on security issues, and we have a security expert in the studio. He's Professor Femi Olufunmilade. He's the director, Buratai Center for Contemporary Security Affairs, domiciled in the University, Igbenedion University in Okada, Edo State. Very warm welcome to Newsnight.
Thank you.
Some messages I've just received, from viewers and those residents in Abuja is that, hey, the police and security agencies have upped their games now. A kind of relief that so far 16 kidnap victims have been rescued and some other kidnappers, have been taken into custody. What do you say?
Well, it's cheering news. And I hope we hear more of it because there are so many people whose loved ones are in the gulag of these kidnappers and sundry criminals. And if the police and the military can sustain this level of apprehensions of these criminals, I think it will serve a dual purpose. One, it will serve as a deterrent to those who are engaged in this form of criminality on the one hand, and on the other hand, it will start rekindling the dwindling confidence of the Nigerian public in the security establishment.
But the security agencies, they just needed the marching order from Mr. President, mobilizing, combing the entire FCT and its environs and the suburbs and the rest. But we're still here only 24 hours ago. Kidnappers went into a military estate in the Federal Capital Territory. Why, are they not being proactive? Instead, they are being reactive and the rest. This is a ragtag army of kidnappers and bandits.
Well, the chairman of the Police Service Commission, Mr. Solomon Arase, who had served as Inspector General of Police himself, yeah, and had distinguished himself, just spoke, and he said that we need to deploy more of technology. Security agents are not omnipresent. They cannot be everywhere. You cannot have a policeman per every square inch of the country. But if we put technology, particularly surveillance technology, to good use, then we'll be able to follow the trails of these criminals, checking whatever information the security technology has provided. And that will help the security agents to follow them up. So that is what we need. Our street lights, especially in the FCT here where we have a lot of street lights, though some are not functioning, can be transformed into security cameras also. They can serve to dual purpose. It's a matter of asking for that to be done. And that will help a lot in, combating crime, because if you are entering a neighborhood, you are being recorded. Even if you are hooded, you cannot hood your height. You cannot hood your stature. You will leave your other trails that will help in apprehending you. So the best form of security is actually the one that makes the best use of preventive mechanisms. When you know that the likelihood that you will be caught ultimately is very high, it is a disincentive to criminality. But when you know that you can go in there, do whatever you like, spend hours, you get away with it, then the incentive to do it will be a lot higher.
Yes, indeed. Look at Chinasa Philip, one of the kingpins, terrorizing the Federal Capital Territory, is in police net, but he was on bail only in November 2023. and in less than 3 months, he's gone back to the same crime that took him to a quali court in a quali high court for, the same banditry, kidnapping, and the rest. And again, he's out perfecting that same notorious act until the police nabbed him now again. What do you say about, the judiciary working with the police, in terms of prosecution of criminals in high-stakes situations like this?
Well, we were not told what offense he committed hitherto exactly for which he was granted bail. But if it was kidnapping, if I don't know the common law, I think common sense does not recommend his being put on bail while he's yet to face justice properly for kidnapping, because that's a grave crime that has led to the death of many Nigerians, that has led to the degrading of many Nigerians who get raped, and that has led to the despoliation of Nigerians who have had to sell houses, sell vehicles, sell land just to pay ransom. So I think the judges granting this bail should start using their own discretion. I have seen situations where people who are even properly granted bail, that are well known, that are not likely to run away, as soon as they are granted bail, they are being picked up again at the court premises. How much more would you expect that to be done in respect of these ones that are very, very dangerous criminals terrorizing the peace of our country? So I think the security agents and the judicial officers, they need a greater synergy so that they know who to grant bail and who not to grant bail.
Yes.
People like Shinaza, in my own opinion, do not deserve bail.
All right. Thanks for that submission. Now, the payment of ransom has become another key issue in the whole of this banditry and terrorism matter or security. People sell their homes, sell property, go to the bank, get the cash, and take to the kidnappers. Where are the security agents here? How do those kidnappers dispense of this money? How do they spend it?
Well, we should also be asking, how come that with all the trails, in terms of numerous phone calls, in a kidnapper's den, you have 30 persons kidnapped, and phone calls are made to their respective families to pay so-and-so ransom. And why is it that we don't ask, how come the security agents in this age cannot follow the trail to track the kidnappers? So if we cannot answer that question satisfactorily, maybe we should bother less about how they have not been able to track the money paid to kidnappers. In any case...
Do you see a situation of organized crime here?
The way the kidnapping thing seems to have become elusive, a situation where people will be kidnapped in their dozens and they will be carted into forests within Nigerian territory. And with all the money we have spent on helicopters,
how about the
our satellites, and the intelligence cooperation I believe we have with more advanced countries, and we seem to find it difficult to recover the bulk of those who have been kidnapped over the years, leaves much to be desired. I think we need to look inward also into our security agencies to fish out those who probably are collaborating with, because that is the conclusion that any intelligent person will reach when you start asking critical questions about the sheer number of people abducted sometimes and the time it will take. When they abduct most of these people, they cut them away on foot. It's not as if they have a jet with which they cut them away. And the location where they stop communicating with their families, a good number of them get reported. And not only that, when they even cut them to destination in the bush, phone calls start. They will ask you to, on your phone, call who is going to help you pay ransom. You start making calls. Can't this be tracked? So I think Yoruba people have a saying that kokoro to nje for ara efo lowa, that is the insect or the pest destroying a vegetable is living right on its leaves. So we cannot run away from that. I think one of the things that need to be done, even though I sympathize with the very loyal and responsible military officers, police officers, DSS officers, etc., because there are quite a lot of them who know nothing about this. But that leads us to an aspect that I think is really missing within our security architecture, and that is what is called counterintelligence. In a typical security formation, there must be a counterintelligence unit based on the assumption that even you, for whatever reason, it could be ideological, could be criminal, could be psychotic, whatever it is, might decide to work against your oath of office, what you have sworn to do for your country. In any security organization, there is no 100% and absolute trust that you cannot change your mind. You are a human being, you are a dynamic being, and therefore the counterintelligence unit must be there. Sometimes when you are given an assignment, there could be some others to trail you, to establish how loyal you are, so that they will forestall a situation where you endanger others within the organization and you endanger your country at large. We need such within our security agencies, particularly the military, the police, even the DSS, so that before they undermine the system, you have apprehended them. That is what we need seriously at this time.
All right. Well, thank you so very much, Professor Femi Olufunmilade. He's the Director, Buratai Center for Contemporary Security Affairs at the Igbinedo University in Okada, Edo State. Thanks so very much for
my pleasure.